Welcome to the Vale, a rare bastion of civilization in a world recuperating after a terrible, centuries-long war. Though the battles ended 200 years ago, the land still recovers from this period of tumultuous strife and slavery. Join now the defenders of the Vale as they navigate a world riddled with opportunity and tragedy, all the while seeking glory, gold, and adventure.
It's gonna be the next morning. Real quick, before we start at the next morning, did anybody do anything whilst they were resting?
I changed clothes.
All right.
I went to normal Rin to tactical Rin.
What is tactical Rin?
You don't want to know. It's a whole thing. We'll get into that later. Anything else?
It's just
Anybody else?
another drawing I did.
I attuned to my ring that I got a couple sessions ago.
Yeah. What's that ring do? Did you ever find out?
You texted me about it, and I'm gonna find that text real quick.
I did not text you because I don't have your cell phone number, so that's a lie. It's a lie
You
right there.
You sent me a thing.
That just sounds creepy. Wandering around sending people willy-nilly things.
It's
That also does not sound like my words.
Did you send
guys
me
should
a
have seen what
whisper?
Rick sent me.
It does something. I know what it does. I forget what it does.
All right. Well, you
looks
figure that
great.
out. Yeah. Right now, it's a very decent looking ring that's on your hand. Anyway, so anybody else do anything?
Oh, it's a ring of spell storing.
There it is.
Rabijan is hanging out with all the cool friends that Nina has and getting wasted and learning more.
Okay, so you do not benefit from a long rest if you stay up and party all night, just for the record, because those guys can throw it out.
Meh.
Okay, it's the next morning. You guys are the most apt at splitting the party of any D&D group I've ever had. It's a thing that you guys do often and very well. And I'm gonna murder somebody because of it someday. You're gonna be like, oh look, pit fiends. But so let's start with Bresinger, Roland. It's the next morning. You guys are waking up. Do you guys do anything besides head down, grab breakfast, and head back to the cave? Phenilius, you as well?
Yeah, I just go downstairs and meet up with the group and wait to head out.
Okay, Phenilius, you're the first one to reply, so you are the first one up. As you make it down the stairs, you see your tabaxi friend on her back, sprawled out on the bar, still asleep from a night of partying.
Whoa.
Yeah, way to drink.
I will find myself a seat somewhere and pretend like I don't see that.
Okay, you're rolling. Bresinger,
I'm
what
not
about you guys?
like exposed or anything. What the hell is happening here?
No, you're unsposed. You're normal sposed. You're not exposed. You're current sposed. I don't know what the right tense for that is, but your kibbles and bits are not for display. You're
Good.
in your clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Your
never
meow
gonna.
mix.
Your meow mix. Oh, that's horrible, and I hate you that I'm never gonna not be able to think of that. Yes, everything is covered. I will never expose any of you without your permission, because we're friends and that gets weird.
No,
So-
we're okay. None of us are bots yet, so we don't need to worry about that.
Except for you. You've got to worry about a lot of things. I'm sorry for you.
Briss is gonna wake up after tuning to his new ring, just kind of being like, oh, it's nice, and then brush his scales, head downstairs, see Tabaxi friend, and go over to her and just kind of poke her shoulder a little bit.
So, Briz, the way that ring works and the way that I use it whenever I have it on a character is you can actually put spells inside that ring. When you put a spell inside that ring, it's like you cast that spell, so it gets removed from you. What I usually do to be efficient with it is at the end of at the beginning of a long rest, I will take my favorite spell that I have in it, put it in the ring, because I'm obviously going to get my spell slots back, and then rest, get my spell slots back, and now my ring has a spell on it. So right now it's empty. It's got nothing in there.
Nice.
But
Nice.
you can do stuff with it later. So you're going to come down. You see Phenilius in the corner, not looking at the bar, like obviously not looking at the bar, grabbing breakfast. Anything else?
I'm gonna grab breakfast.
Roland?
Roland's gonna head down and kind of just take note of the surroundings there, and then he too will sit. He'll sit at the bar with Phenilius and order breakfast.
Phenilius is off at a table away from the bar because he's avoiding the passed out girl.
That's correct. I will sit at the table with Vanillius.
Perfect. All right, you guys have breakfast. Are you guys planning on doing anything besides going back to the cave when you're done with breakfast?
Not that I can think of.
Are
Rolling
any of you
distance-
gonna wake up Rabbi Jan before you guys leave?
Nobody has to. Robbie John smells food and kind of wakes up herself and stumbles to the nearest person and tries to take food off their plate with like her eyes half open.
Okay. I'm not even gonna make you roll because that is so far into your character's behavior that I think it's perfect. Roland, Rabbi Jan wakes up, not even looking like a sleepwalking zombie, and starts to put her paws in your food to get some.
I better not find a hair in this.
All right. Anything else besides heading over? All right. Basil, Ren, who went and switched clothes. You can just switch clothes. I'll just say you look like that now. And then Gry, are you guys doing anything? How crazy would that be if I had a guest star playing Gry right now? He just jumped in and was like, "No, I'm good, bro."
Oh god.
Except for he would have to obviously play him creepy because that's the thing. Are you guys doing anything in the morning before the rest of the guys meet up with you? Rest of the gang?
I did attune to those gloves you gave me. That's
Yep.
all I did for my downtime. Also,
It was a bracer, but not gloves.
But I drew gloves. Shit.
They're gloves. No, it's fine. They're gloves then. You put effort into it. That's fine. It'll work.
I drew cool gloves,
Yep.
man. You
Yep,
just give me
they're gloves.
braces. I'm just kidding.
Yep, they're gloves.
Yeah,
You're good.
I had it as gloves.
That's fine. Maybe I misspoke. Doesn't matter though. Again, you did artwork. It looks cool as heck. It works. Rabbit Trail. Are you guys doing anything besides the waking up, getting ready, waiting for your friends? Anything special going on? I just want to make sure.
Or keep an eye on the cave. Nobody gets in our house.
Yeah, when you guys wake up, Gry is still sitting with Tim and Tom, staring into the cave.
I was gonna ask Gry if he wants to thumb wrestle with Mage Hand.
Yes. He looks at you. He goes this. He goes, I've wanted to do that very thing for a very long time. And he very quickly summons his ghastly mage hand to go. And you want to do just a straight D20?
Yeah, sure.
Best 2 out of 3. Highest roll wins the round. Boom. Gry, I don't know why I'm so excited. I'm not Gry, but Gry rolled a natural 20.
Basha rolled a 5.
Yeah, you actually, he beat you so bad that first round, you actually have to resummon your mage hand for the second round.
Shit.
He goes, I'm sorry, I've always had big thumbs. Gry rolls a 9. Basher rolls a 4. That's 2 out of 3. Gry is the undisputed mage hand thumb wrestling champion of the Vale.
Alright, next time it's an arm wrestle.
But a real arm.
Just punch him.
He just runs off and cries like a pouting child. It hurts so much. So he's very excited and happy now. You guys all managed to make it back to Caleb's cave, the cave of Caleb, with no issues. You come in and you see the rest of the people kind of getting up. They're cleaning up their camp. They're really just kind of patting their feet on the ground waiting for you guys now because you all woke up at about the same time.
I have a question that might have already been answered.
Okay.
So, with all the knowledge that we have of this fun, creepy cult thing coming up, do we know what it's called yet?
Yes, you guys know what it's called.
Wasn't it a cult to Orcus, if I'm remembering that correctly?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And called, because I'm lazy,
Orcus.
the Cult of Orcus.
It's efficient.
Thank you, I'm forgetful.
Okay, you guys are all back together at the entrance of the cave that Rabbi Jan loves.
That Rabbi
What-
John did not like.
Loves
How
is what I
does
said.
Rabbi Jan looks like? Like, is she hangover as fuck this morning?
Rabbi Jan looks like it's been raining outside and somebody locked the cat outdoors for a little while, and then you let the cat back indoors. But it's an older cat that's had a hard life. Like, that's what Rabbi Jan looks like right now.
What the fuck,
Oh,
man?
Listen, you just rolled not even out of bed. Okay, you don't even have bed head. You have barred top head. All right, and snacked some food before you even woke up and came. You didn't say I want to take a minute and go collect myself. You just and I gave you plenty of opportunity.
Does Rabbi Jean need a minute? She's already always collected.
I don't mind if you look like a hot mess. How do you feel about it, Rabbi Jan?
No.
Cats clean pretty easy.
Rabbi Jan is grooming herself with a bowl of water or something. I don't know. All right, so You guys are heading into the cave. You got your characters right there in my handy dandy thing. Why don't you go ahead and put, as if this is the cave entrance? Why don't you go ahead and line your characters up in whatever order you would like them to be in? Greg's just creepily following Fernelius.
Kitty, you need to get at least a little bit closer to cave.
Meow.
Just a little bit. I'm not asking a lot. Just at least be able to see cave entrance.
Robbie John has good eyes, you can see.
I think Greg goes, I think she's going to try to make you go in the cave when we get over there. So you should, be ready. All right, so the last time you guys were in the cave, you had made it through 2 different rooms. The first room was on your left. You jumped in and Commando entered that room, and then Roland tap danced on a demon summoning. Ren tap danced on a demon summoning circle, summoned a demon. You guys fought it, was okay. Went into the next room, same Commando thing, and then somebody, I think, was it Basha, failed the search well and stumbled upon a couple of
Yeah, it was me.
vegetable. That's okay. That's fine. And then you guys cleared that room out and you left. Now we're heading back into the cave. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
I
early in the morning.
guess.
It's kind of a fall, so it's nice and chilly still. And you head into the cave, kind of swiftly going into a cave that again looks like it was hands carved. Like, it looks like people literally took their hands and carved clay, but it's actually stone, and made a tunnel. Again, the taller people in the party are having to hunch down. I'm sorry, Bresinger. I'm sorry, Rabbi Jan. You guys are hunched. You're gonna get back problems if you stay in this cave for too long. Thankfully, the rooms have been a little taller, giving you the ability to stand up tall, straight. You approach the first room. You come up to the first room. You kind of head down that hallway. Remember, you have the lights that are the cult symbol on the wall every few feet or so. But you're approaching that first door on the left. Do you want to do anything with that room, or do you want to just head by it?
Briss is gonna kind of peek in there, make sure that everything's kind of up to whatever code that isn't,
Yeah.
monsters.
I don't think there's a lot of codes in this
There's
cave.
not.
With a pile
There's-
of skulls that has gross flesh things. So it's still
There's
gross
a
in
lot
that
of
room.
OSHA
You still see
violations.
a lot. Look and see, and you'll be in a world of OSHA violations.
No.
Love it.
All right, so there's nothing going on in that room besides leftover death. You guys can pass that room. You can go in that room. What are you doing? Let me know.
So just to make sure, we already cleared 3 of them, right?
You cleared 2 rooms.
So are we going
This
to
is,
go...
as you guys are heading north, this is the first room on the left. You're actually coming up on the first room on the right, which is the second room, which is the one with the bones and the flesh golems.
Yeah, the gross room.
Yeah, that's a good name for it.
So shall we try to take a look at the other room we didn't check already?
What? Yeah. So you're just gonna go straight to the third room?
Yes, I am going straight to the third room, but I'm taking a look at the floor and also at the walls because my paranoia is kicking in, and I want to make sure that there's nothing that's gonna harm us this time.
But I just want to reiterate, you're going straight past the second room to the third room.
Didn't we already saw that room?
I'm just checking. I'm just checking, buddy. I'm just checking it out. Whatever you want to say.
I am going to take a peek quickly, and if I don't see nothing that bothers me, I will simply go past it.
Okay. As you walk by, you look in that room. Still very disgusting. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
I rolled a 10 and also a natural 20 if I had any advantage, but I guess I don't.
No, you don't see any traps, right? Everything looks safe and fine.
Briss is gonna peek in there as well, just kind of see if there's anything going on in there. I can roll a perception if you want.
Sure. And then this will be the last shot at it. Go ahead and roll. That way we don't have everybody doing perception. I'm weird that way. Yep, everything looks great. Dandy. Fine. Peaceful.
Yeah, I
almost.
rolled a 10 too.
This is not 3.5. You can't just take 10 on a roll. All right.
I don't think Robbie John would want us to take 10.
No. All right, you guys are heading through. So you pass that door, and once you pass that door, you look and you see another door on the right. So the first one was on the left, this one was on the right, the next one's on the right as well. And that door there's a thick wooden door approaching it. Again, the hallway still looks kind of carved. It's noticeable enough that I'm not going to make anybody roll, but you know you're heading deeper into the ground at this point in time. It's nothing completely crazy, but you might have gone down maybe a good 10 feet or so, right? It's a relatively stable yet noticeable slope to the ground. And the cave is getting a little smaller, so it's a little tougher again for the big folk to walk. You start to approach the third room, or the second door on the right. As you approach, you finally see there is an end to this pathway, and at the end is a set of two bigger double door. Like it looks a lot larger, but there's two wooden doors that are shut into a room at the very end, and not on the right or the left, at the end of the hallway. So what do you guys want to do? What's the crack-a-lackin'?
I suggest no one opens those doors. We should just put a big lock on it and never investigate on what's in there. Because I have seen doors like that before. Big monster is always inside.
Robbie John is cool with that.
I am not cool with that. I want to see what's behind the door.
You want
I
to
must
see
say,
big
I'm curious as
monster?
well.
It's
I'm
not
just
always.
curious.
It could. I mean, the cave's relatively small. It can't be that big of a monster. You're inside.
Exactly. If it's really big, we could just run away and then it can't follow us.
They're like, hey,
Basha.
come back.
Pris is gonna glare.
Would Basha be kind enough to come near me? Are you certain you don't want to open the door, Brisinger?
I am very certain, but I have feeling you are going to open it anyways.
Your feeling is very correct, actually.
As the DM, I would like to jump in and just clarify, which door are we looking at right now?
The one that Brisinger doesn't want us to open.
The big double doors where monster is hiding.
Doesn't mean
so you
there
guys-
is monster hiding.
Yeah, all right.
Well,
You
why
guys-
don't we waste a spell and open this smaller looking room first?
All right. Let's do the tiny door first, and then we go to the bulky door. Does that sound fine to you, all of you guys?
Yes.
Sounds good to me. But I bet you 1 platinum coin that there is big monster behind double doors.
Yeah, you wish you had platinum coins.
Robbie John's not gonna be happy either way, so whatever.
Greg goes, I like gambling. I'll make a bet.
You will
Yeah.
gamble with me, tiny friend?
Bruce, please don't gamble with the child.
Yes, I will gamble with you, giant friend.
Oh, wonderful. I have potato. What do you have?
You said a platinum, right?
I have 1 platinum. And potato. You can take either.
All right. So then, where I come from, we always have a third party hold it until the winner gets everything.
Yes,
I
I
vote
Robbie John
can
likes
do
purple.
tiny.
I'd probably, as much as I like Rabbi Jan shouldn't have to be burdened with holding extra non-Rabbi Jan shinies. Maybe we could give it to somebody like Fanilius.
Fanilius is good choice. Fanilius, are you okay with betting?
Sure.
Guy's gonna go
Parmesan
over. and-
Visibly offended.
Guy's gonna go as creepily as possible, reach into his pouch. Like maybe it's a weird like back pouch, like it looks like he's grabbing his own bum or something, and reach out and hand you a platinum.
He's got a bum bag.
He has
Got
a
a bum
fanny
bag.
pack.
He's got.
Oh my
That's exactly
God.
what it is. It's a fanny pack, but it was spun around backwards because he's weird.
Yeah, we call this a bum bag.
And it's not called a bum bag. It's called a fashion pack. All right.
Oh. Oh
Uh,
my.
Briss is gonna reach deep into his little sack where all his snacks are, and he's going to pull out potato, look at it, put it back, pull out platinum coin, and hand it to Fanilius. And yes, that is the potato I stole from that toddler that I don't give a fuck about.
Oh god. Bruce, what?
While all this craziness is going on, Fanilius casts Detect Magic.
Oh.
What are you doing, Finn?
I feel like I should point out that there is a slight aura of magic in the door that you're looking at, and
The big one or the small one?
the small one, and
Oh.
a bit more magic behind the double doors there. Seems to be conjuration magic.
What does that mean exactly for us? Is it dangerous or not?
Probably yes.
So wait, did you give Fanilius the other platinum?
Fanilius is holding 2 platinum pieces. Well, not holding. He's put them in a pouch.
All right. Would Basha be kind enough to do the same dance we did yesterday, and be ready to shoot her bow while I open the door carefully?
Aye, Captain.
Well,
Yes,
hang
I
on a
love it.
second.
Oh, yes.
Is the magic on the door or behind the door? I turned to Finn. Papa
Uh,
Finn.
The small door there, the magic seems to be in the door. I'm not sure how traps work, but maybe you should look for that.
I
Perhaps
certainly
then
will.
maybe we should, as a group, stand a little bit further away and let the people with magical floating hands open the door.
Or I could just cast Find Traps.
That
Oh,
sounds
really?
dangerous.
You're going there? You're gonna steal my job with your petty magic? Just like that? It's an
Well-
insult to my people, you
Well,
motherfucker.
to be
I
fair,
vote
you
Find
didn't really
Traps.
find the last one.
You should have went in a little tirade cussing at him in French right there. I mean halfling right there.
Oh, don't worry, I can do that, espèce de sale con. Tu vas voir, mon connard, je vais t'enculer, mon connard. Tu fais que foutre la merde et tu ris de mes gens. C'est vraiment qu'une merde.
So after getting cussed out, what are you guys doing? Are you guys gonna just walk through the door? You're mage handing this door? Or
All
you
right, Roland, just
finding
do
tra-
your thing and keep insulting me. And I go at the back, at the very back, and I wait, hands crossed, and waiting for Roland to do his shitty magic tricks, and then I look like upset and t'es que connard. Tu sais, Roland, t'es vraiment une merde quand tu fais ça.
It's a second level spell. I'll let you just look.
No, I vote Find Traps. It's funny to see a tiny person mad.
Wasn't
Ravijan's gonna stand next to Rin and kind of fold her arms and look grumpy as well.
Oh no, Tiny Kitty is mad now too. Tiny Kitty, why are you mad? I only want Tiny Human mad.
Ravijan
not
doesn't
tiny
like it
human.
here.
Okay,
Why does people
so
keep insulting me?
It's funny.
I cast Find Traps. It's instantaneous. I sense the presence of any trap within range that is within line of sight. A trap for the purpose of this spell includes anything that would inflict a sudden or unexpected effect you consider harmful or undesirable, which was specifically intended as such by its creator. Thus, the spell would sense an aura affected by the alarm spell, a glyph of warding, or a mechanical pit trap, but it would not reveal a natural weakness in the floor, an unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole. The spell merely reveals that a trap is present. You don't learn the location of each trap, but you do learn the general nature of the danger posed by a trap you sense.
All right. So after casting that, you detect no traps.
All right, looks like we're clear.
I thought about adding traps just because you cast it, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna meta DM game.
I don't have a spell for picking lock, so Rin, go ahead.
Yeah, that I can do very well, connard. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am, I can do that. So Rin is going to go at the door, grumpily walking, and then take off its tools and try to picklock the door. And this is a natural fucking 20, and I rolled a 31. Amen.
So I just want to point out, not only was it a natural 20, but the roll came up with advantage, and both of them were natural 20s. So if I had given him disadvantage for it, the funniest thing I think about this is as the expert door unlocker goes to insert his tools to pick the trap, the door just kind of swings open.
See, Roland, that is how we do it. That this is why I'm here with you. Your petty magic couldn't do shit like that.
Like accidentally open an unlocked door.
Oh, did I? Oh shit, I misunderstood totally, man.
Yeah, that's what was so awesome about the crit is the door wasn't locked at all. So you basically come up and you like go to insert your like your little pick or whatever into the door, and when you do it, it slides open. And I'm gonna go ahead and say you probably try to pretend to unlock it anyway because your roll was so good.
Yeah, I do try to pretend that I did that.
Go ahead and roll a deception with that with advantage, and anybody who wants to check can roll perception with disadvantage.
20. Oh shit! Fuck you, Roland.
He got an 11. It's with disadvantage.
Dear God.
Is that everybody? There we go.
Wait, what is the perception?
So when he went to unlock the door, it was already unlocked. But he crit, and he was so stoked to show himself useful. He basically pretended like he unlocked it. So he rolled the deception. If anybody wants to see through the deception, they can roll. But it looks like everybody is with this. Since he double critted, I gave him advantage, and everybody else did. And it looks like he, as far as you guys can tell, Ren, walking over, muttering in halfling, just very frustrated, sits down and unlocks. No, because you're trying to perceive. He's not verbally lying. He's acting it out. So Ren goes over and beautifully unlocks. It's the most beautiful lock picking you guys have ever seen. It's skill and sweat. And then for a minute you thought he would never get through it. And then that sweet moment where you hear a click, a weird non-mechanical sounding click, almost like a instead of an actual click. and the door opens and he looks and he gestures grandly.
This is something Rin will never tell anyone ever.
And all of you guys believe it because you with disadvantage you didn't roll high enough. Brisinger was exceptionally blown away by this performance with your 3. So we've got with disadvantage, Roland got an 11, Brisinger got a 3, Rabijan got an 8, Basha got an 8, and Phanilius and Gry are too weird and awkward to really care. Even Tim and Tom are applauding a little bit.
They just sound like maracas.
All right, so as the door swings open, you see a completely empty room. It's 4 walls. It's very square. The ceiling's probably 9 foot tall, like the other ones were, just big enough so you tall people can walk in. It's probably like a 16 by 16 room, right? 16 feet by 16 feet. I don't know how many meters that is for you weirdos located outside the States. And yes, I understand 99% of the world uses metric. Whatever. It's like us in some small country in Africa.
It's okay. D&D uses feet.
Well, it was made by Americans. So that's what you see.
We are not going into this room. This is empty room. It's suspicious. I don't like it.
I want to pull out a dart, and I'm considering just chucking it in there.
No, Basil, that is a good idea. Please chuck in there.
I throw the dart. Yeet.
What are you aiming at anything? Or are you just yeeting it in there?
Just throwing it through the room to the other side, I guess. Wait, I don't actually remember the distance of the dart.
It's 20 feet, right? 20 feet by 40 feet. That's a dart.
Then I'll throw it 20, 40 feet. Yeah, I'll just throw it.
All right, it into the wall at the other end, and then nothing happens.
And then I've lost a dart.
You can always walk over to and pick it up. There's no harm in that,
I'm not trying to die, Ricky.
unless you're chicken.
We are
Yes,
very
actually, I am.
chickeny people.
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah,
I
you
picked the
guys are
mobility
pussy.
feat so I could run away. I'm the ultimate coward.
Vanillius
Alright,
casts
anything-
a message and whispers to Roland, there's something in the middle, right in the middle. Faint aura of magic right in the middle.
Guys, Cornelius has told me that there's something in the middle of this room. Something radiating some sort of magic.
See, I told you, empty room never good.
Rabijan thinks no room in this cave is good.
It must be like that thing in the other room that summoned that horrible, disgusting, stinky bird thing.
It could be exactly like that, or it could be better.
It dispenses
It
cotton
could
candy.
also not be better.
I mean, better subjective.
It could
better
be
for me,
on the
better for
same
you.
line, same level, lower even, maybe.
Mari will appreciate this joke. It's a vending machine full of dragons.
Me?
Is this a Neopets joke?
This is the
Yeah.
old people Neopets joke, yes.
I don't like it.
All right, so what are you guys doing with this room that you guys are all terrified of? And I love that you're terrified of my room. I haven't even
Yeah.
given you guys a real reason to be terrified, except for the guy who accidentally was a dragon. That's the meanest thing I've done to you guys.
The last time we went in a room like this, there was a monster in the
There were
floor.
meat people.
Meat people.
I don't remember them.
Meat people.
I tried
How
to
could
give
you
guys
forget the
walking-
meat people?
I'm trying to give you guys walking snacks. I don't know what you're afraid of.
I've vomited like 5 times in this dungeon. Not again.
Yeah, Basil did vomit. It was sad. He needs some Pepto-Bismol and a nap.
Yeah,
I feel like Rabijan's
Yeah, I
stomach
have
is kind of uneasy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. You see one girl saying you're rolling for Pukies. So what are you guys doing?
Do you
Rolling
want
for
to just
Pukies
move
could be
on?
the name of the episode as well.
No.
I will attempt to take a look everywhere I can to find a loose ceramic thingy or
Yeah,
whatever.
so you see there is no in the first room whenever you walked across there was like a cultic symbol on the ground. There's none of that. It's literally just a door and a completely empty room. There's no dust, there's no nothing. It's literally just a carved out room and one dart that's stuck in the far wall, courtesy of Basil.
And can you do something about this?
I mean, I can't do anything more than I have to figure out what there is. I just know there is something.
And you can't see past that?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, Briss is gonna go ahead and just kind of like tiptoe as much as a dragonborn, 7'3" dragonborn can tiptoe. Just gonna kind of like slink into the room until he gets to like the edge of like where the middle is and just kind of kneel down and like look at the ground, just kind of glare at the ground, trying to figure out like what is there.
All right, why don't you give me and anybody else, if multiple people want to do it as well, he can roll with advantage. Yes, I remember to say he. I'm very happy with myself.
Oh,
Then
wait.
you can make an Arcana check
I would like to try something after Brazilian
before
has
the.
done his shit.
Okay. All right. So is
24.
anybody gonna? Is that with? Oh no, yes, that's fine. You don't need to have advantage then. All right. So there is very slight, and Fanilius, you rolled high enough, you'll see this as well. There's very slight runes, arcane runes, kind of etched in a circle, and the center, with the center of the circle being the exact center of this room. Does that make sense? So there's a circle with the hole or the center of the circle center dead center in the 16 by 16 room, and in the ceiling the same runes are there. So and they're lined up perfectly with each other. So this is a gate or portal of some sort, but that's all you know.
Can we find the annoying gnome from Bar and push him inside the portal to find out where it goes?
It's an active portal right now,
Oh, dang it.
but yeah, you could do that. I mean, if you want to push that particular gnome, while annoying, I feel like I've sufficiently hinted very powerful.
I still want to push him in portal.
So you're
That seems like
saying
the
this
kind of
thing
thing
is a
that's happened to
blocker?
him before. I'm not saying anything, but your mages, your sorcerer and wizard both have that.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking at the.
Fanilius, you have more experience with runes and portals than I do. They make me sick. I generally try to avoid. Is there anything that you can detect in here other than that it is inactive in this portal?
Does Fanilius
You know what?
recognize any of the runes?
You know what? If you want to go ahead and make an investigation because of your family background and particular field of study, I'll give you some information if you get a total roll of 18 or higher, which that is. There it is, a 20 right there. So you know that you don't know where this portal goes from or to, or if it's a from or a to, but you do know that it is a one-way portal, and it looks like it's got one use, and that's it. That's all you got.
Well, I relay that information to the group.
Wait, is there any way to tell how old it is?
Nope.
No.
Not that I as the DM can think of.
Well,
The runes are magical, and the room is gross. I mean, clean, pristine, whatever, same thing.
Basil's gonna glance around the room and just sort of take a second to think, and then be like, "Well, the only reason I can think of having a random one-way portal in a place like this is if someone was trying to escape. If we remember yesterday, we did make quite a lot of noise on the way in."
Yes, actually, this is a great way to see it. I mean, did we frighten someone? Didn't we realize there was someone there?
That might make sense. I mean, obviously, there's not really any way to tell, but it's one explanation. But that would certainly mean that if that is the case, then a member of the cult who presumably is powerful enough to create these sort of portals is aware that people are onto them.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to go there without being prepared. Anyway, I believe Finn says we can't go there, right?
Correct.
At the moment, at least.
It seems a little bit dire.
Well, then I suggest we go to the other door, since we can't do shit in here.
Yes, we should finish up our investigation here and then be prepared for an escalation, perhaps back at the village. If they know that we know, then if they were going to do anything to us, past just having one of their own in our midst, they'll have to do it sooner rather than later now.
You really think the village would be in danger?
Well, I mean, they stored a dragon in there for a little while. It can't be the safest place.
Yeah, probably right.
Mm.
Sorry, I forgot about the dragon. Bad memory.
It's okay. They're pretty easy to forget about.
Hi.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
it's
Briss.
over.
Yeah, you're not a real dragon.
Oh my god, he said it.
He started a fight.
This
We
is
can't have that.
cyberbullying. I didn't come to D&D to watch cyberbullying, unless Briss rolls a 1 again. In that case, it's okay. But yes, maybe we should get a bit of a move on, and then we can decide what to do about this cult once we have a bigger picture.
Shall we go into a gambling room?
Is there a
Yes, we
gambling
should.
room?
Remember that I mentioned there's a magical aura from there also.
Yes, maybe Roland will be able to tell us if there is something behind the door. this time.
No, the spell only works through line of sight. I can't see through doors.
I will point out, Rin, you also can't see through doors.
Blah, 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 blah.
That's a fair point, and I hadn't considered that.
Yes, you didn't. Remember that.
I'll bear that in mind for next time.
Now, if we're all done with the funs and jokes, maybe we could go ahead to the next door.
Sounds like a good idea.
Ren is leaving the room and going to the next door.
Roland will follow.
I'll follow, but at a distance, because if something happens when that door opens, I don't want to be like in the AoE. You know what I'm saying?
Pussy.
The aura behind the double doors is stronger.
Oh, well, maybe
Roland,
this
please
one's a
do your
two-way.
shit.
I told you, Gry, there is monster in there. I'm going to get my 1 platinum coin back, and I'm going to take yours as well.
Oh, he does know how gambling works.
No, you didn't say if there was a monster in there. You said if the big monster was in there, or the strong monster.
There's going to be a big monster in there. He's going to be bad.
In that case,
Rin.
then you will get the platinum, but we gotta go in there first.
Ren
Well, at
is
least
standing
someone
at the
wins.
door, looking at Roland, hands crossed, and smiling at him, waiting for him to do his trick.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Sure thing, buddy. So Ren is going
Bes-
to
Besides,
take a
if
look
if there was a trap on there, I would have detected it already.
Oh, so now you're omniscient.
No, but it was within my line of sight.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Also, you guys can't see this room that you very clearly can see yet.
Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
what, buddy? I didn't get it.
You have to pretend like you don't see this room that I just drew in front of all of you guys to see.
What room?
Okay, we're gonna pretend there's no room there.
All right, so what are you guys doing to this door?
I am going to inspect it to see if there is any traps or any.
Yep, it's open. It's unlocked anyway. It's not open.
Another one of these. And then I gently open the door.
Wait.
I
How,
wait.
how far away from the double doors can I be and have a line of sight into the room when the doors are open?
How far do you see in low light?
All of the way.
All the way? For a
Yeah,
mile?
all the way. Yep. Just whatever range there is, I see it all.
All right,
Just a
then
second,
you
I'll
can,
look it up.
you can be infinitely far away. You can be at the front of the cave because there's a slight decline. Basil, the D does not mean dragon. It means dragons.
In
Excellent.
darkness, I can see 60 feet. In low light, I can see as if it was light.
Okay, so you can be. I mean, with the slant of the room, you could probably be 30 feet back and see. You'll have a little bit of a hard time seeing the far wall, but you can see the bottom of the far wall.
Good enough. I want to be 30 feet away from the double doors. I was wanting to find out are we in a hallway? Where are the double doors in relation to where I can stand? That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, so there's a hallway. The hallway is roughly as big as these double doors. The double doors are the red box in the bottom of this room I've drawn. So the hallway goes straight back, and it's roughly that width.
Perfect. All right. So I stand 30 feet back from the double doors.
What's everybody else doing?
Roland's waiting for Rin to work his magic.
But the door wasn't locked, right?
No, the door's open. You can swing that dude open whenever you'd like.
I will create a magical crystal dagger in my hand and get ready to throw it if there is something behind.
How do you want that to look when that effect goes off? You want it to be a little bit of spell light? What do you want to happen when you cast that spell?
Pretty much like in the drawing I did. I feel like.
So like a light blue kind of glowy dagger.
Did you see the Cloak and Dagger TV show?
Yeah.
Well, pretty
You want
much
it to
like
be
the
like
girls
you want
does.
it to be like Dazzler.
Looks cool.
Does look cool. Looks real cool. Okay, got it. So you see him. You see a little kind of bloop of light as he pulls a magical dagger out of his glove.
Whoa,
And
that's
then what do
pretty
you guys
magic.
do? It was a little magical.
And then I open the door, ready to throw.
Okay, so these are like barn doors. They slide to the left and right, and they're located inside. So you can push them and they slide pretty easily.
Is Basha ready?
That's a Basha question, not a me question.
Yeah, Basha, are you ready?
Well, my bow and arrow doesn't really do any magical damage, so I'm not sure how relevant it is. But I can be behind you and help with my rapier.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Venilius is prepared to cast Sleet Storm if he sees more than one bad guy in the room.
Briss is prepared to cast Scorching ray question? Yeah, scorching ray.
You don't want to cast fireball? You guys can be fire and ice.
Yeah, I want to. Okay, I'll do fireball.
I almost want to
In
put
a
the
cave?
monsters. Yeah,
In
I
a
almost want to put the
cave!
monsters. I almost want to put monsters in the room that aren't there, just to see
Oh
fire
yeah,
and sleep.
we're level 6. You can cast fireball.
Oh yeah,
It's okay. If there's no monsters, you can fireball me.
that's the, and then remember you get a magic item if you kill them with it.
Basil,
right.
come here.
Basil, hold this oil.
Nah.
Hold this.
All right, so the doors slide open, and you all really tense up, and there's this dramatic moment where we're ready. And as the doors slide open, there's no living things that you see, or undead things. There's no things walking around to fight you. There's no fighting like Basha was doing earlier. FITE. What you do see, however, is this room. I'm surprised Basha didn't know. This room isn't chiseled by hand. This room looks like it was. It just the stone it's very straight. It's very dimensional, even though mine's not a perfect hexagon. It's a hexagon room, but I ran out of room at the top. Stupid center veil was in the way. So on the bottom isn't so much like it's not like the other room when I say there was an occult symbol on the ground. It was like creepy TV movie where it was done with powder and there's like candles and stuff all over it. This symbol is just engraved in the bottom of the floor, right? Like it was carved into it, and it's engraved, and then it looks like a different metal than the rest, or a different stone than the rest of the floor. In the corners, like you see there, these, they're stand-up mirrors, each facing a different. I know, right? Like I should probably give you some pointers. We can really
You
step the
should
game up.
definitely, man.
But those mirrors are each facing the way that the curved part are going. Along the walls are like almost like picture stories, like little different pictures, and they start to the left here. So this wall has one, this wall has one. They each have one. But other than that stuff, there's no furniture, there's no other decorations, but there are on the ceiling are those symbols like this that are full of light. So they got ceiling lights, yo. And are you still maintaining that detect magic spell?
I am, yes.
So when the doors opened, the conjuration magic flashes brightly enough briefly that it hurt your eyes to remain them open. As you blink, you can just see that from the room generally there's a lot of magic. And I would have whispered that to you, but I was lazy.
Okay. Well, that's all right, because I would relay that information immediately to everyone else.
And from behind you hear Greg go, ooh.
What is so interesting, tiny friend?
And you
This is
hear
probably-
Robbie John go,
Stop using the T word.
This is probably the most interesting room I've ever seen in my life. Look how creepy it is. I kind of want to move in.
Do it.
How interesting does it look to Phenilius?
I mean, there's something magical going on in here. You're not quite sure what, and the symbols are probably from a sage standpoint or from somebody who studies arcane things. Very interesting. There's a lot going on in this room, and you don't know all of it, so it's probably very interesting for you to look.
Okay, Phenilius moves into the room.
Wait, I
I'm
step in.
slightly startled by Finn walking in, but I'll try and keep pace with him.
I try to stop Finn from moving in.
I just laugh in the corner.
Oh god.
Gry walks in too.
Briss is gonna walk in.
I'm staying back.
Roland walks in.
Rabbi Jan, that's not a place. You can't be that far over. You can only be from the length of the red there down. Yeah. So you can say you're back further, but
Oh, she was hiding Basha.
sorry,
That's-
Robbie John just does not want to be that close.
Basha looks like she's done with everybody's shit, and somebody's getting stabbed in the eye.
Most likely. Everybody make a dice roll. I'm kidding. Oh, God.
So Gry's moved in the room with Tim and Tom. Phenilius has moved in the room. Roland's moved in the room. What's everybody else doing?
I'm
Not
in the room
moving in the
too.
room.
Okay,
I'm
so
sat
you
next
guys
to Finn.
are you guys staying outside of the room?
As long
Yeah.
as there are other people outside of the room, Robbie John will be outside of the room.
I am waiting there to see if something's happened because those guys, they are careless as fuck.
Yeah, I have my weapon ready, but I'm staying on the outside.
Okay, so what is everybody doing that's on the inside of the room?
Well, I was going to suggest I just chuck another dart across the room, but I guess we're just going full hog.
No, Basil, please. It was fun seeing you for a dart last time. You are a good aim.
Thank you.
Phenilius headed into the room, but Rin said to wait, so I got just inside the door and I'm waiting.
Okay, so we're all waiting.
What am I waiting for? What are we doing?
You really want to go into that kind of room without checking for traps and dangerous things, buddy? I mean, you're supposed to be smarter than
I
I
don't
am.
know. I didn't think about that. I got distracted by all the interesting stuff by all means.
Yeah, birds
It would be
get
great if
distracted
you
by
look for
shiny thing as
traps.
well. I will go in and try to look for traps and weird things that are, well, uncommon in such a room, if there are so many of such a room, if that means anything.
All right, give me some rolls. Let's see some investigation
I would also like to investigate.
from outside the room.
I'm inside the room.
Ren rolled a 17.
That's the
Robin's
hallway.
your fella.
You have to go past the doors to get
I
inside the room.
didn't move myself.
What the
I
fuck
don't.
was that?
I do not know what you're doing.
Finilius rolled a 21 for investigation, but it's not looking for traps. It's just looking at all the magical stuff.
I
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
we do
Alright.
expect to just look
22.
around.
I got nat 20, guys.
2 nat
Perfect.
20.
And tell me exactly what you're. All right. So Fenilius is investigating the room. Ren's looking for traps. What are you investigating, Grizz?
I'm investigating anything that looks slightly arcane. So that means mirrors, symbol on the floor, and the pictures that are on the wall.
What is everybody else doing?
I'm gonna follow like Briss and Finn around as they explore and just take a look at the stuff.
Roland's gonna
Um,
check out this mirror over here and investigate it, I guess.
I think Ramijan's going to ready a magic missile.
That's a 16 for Roland's investigation.
Okay, so Ren, you do as you make your way around the trap or the room. You do
Oh, so there's a trap.
It's
You
around.
bastard.
It's around this. Well, the thing was, I read Roland's spell. The door was too thick for him to see in the room. But kind of going around the square outer bound of the occult symbol here, you did find a trap. There's pressure plates located every few feet, kind of going around the center there.
I turn around and look at Finn and say, "See, buddy, if you had gone and not while not looking at traps and inspected the room, something would have blown in your frail face."
Thank goodness you were here for me, friend.
No, don't thank goodness, thank me.
So sassy.
You know I like this way.
Bresinger, these mirrors are gateways. You studying them, you see conjuring. That's where the conjuration magic is coming from.
Alright, everyone. It looks like the mirrors are they're portal gateways. This weird. Don't touch the mirrors. Just don't touch them.
Vanillius, what are you studying again?
Everything. I started out with a mirror, I guess.
You confirm the gateway thing, but you also notice that the murals almost seem to be telling a story about the Dragon Giant War. But to understand the story, it will take a little bit of time to try to figure it out in a couple of rolls.
That's what Finilius will be doing now then.
All right. What Roland, if you're looking for traps or if you're looking for mirrors, with the 16, you know that it's magical. You don't have really any. With your 16, you don't have anything to really add to what everybody else found. But you get the same general sense that they've got as well.
Okay, like, because basically when I'm looking at the mirror, I'm just, trying to make sure that I'm seeing like my reflection and maybe not something else. Like if these mirrors are like connected in some way or something. If I'm looking in the mirror that's right in front of me, but I'm seeing the reflection of the mirror in the opposite corner or something weird like that.
Show me which mirror you're looking at. Why don't you go ahead and move near that mirror? Like you look into the mirror and you see your reflection. The shape of the mirror makes your reflection kind of like a caramel. Like you look fat.
Guys, I believe we found the fun house.
I'd have to disagree, Roland.
I don't think this place is very fun. But mirror makes you look funny. If we had some way to take, I don't know, picture of that, I would take picture of that.
I'll keep a note of how he looks and I'll draw you a picture of him later.
Oh, Basil, you're such a good friend.
He just
All
sort
right.
of gets distracted by whatever Finn's doing.
Bresinger, there is one thing I'm gonna message.
Nah.
Turns out you're a real dragon. Kill everyone.
Woo!
Those spells are gonna come in handy.
This is how the campaign ends, guys. So it's been nice to see you and see you in another
Definitely.
life.
This is how it ends.
Everyone, I do not suggest turning the mirrors. They are apparently rotatable.
Rotatos.
They are
So
rotatable.
you don't want us to rotate the mirrors, or
No, just keep them where they are.
how so?
Don't touch
So-
them.
I need an explanation. You know I need something. Otherwise, I'm gonna try it.
They are on rotatable base. I'm assuming something bad will happen if we rotate them certain way.
Are you saying that I would put you in a room with a bad trap?
I am saying you would put us all in bad room with bad trap. I want to have
there
bad
good traps?
monsters.
All right. So what else? What's everybody else doing? Let me know what's going on in this room.
I am going to go take a look at the doors again to make sure there isn't an hidden mechanism that would lock the door and trap us within with like dangerous shit or something.
Venilius is distracted by the paintings or whatever it is that's on the walls and is trying to decipher them.
Go ahead and give me a. Go, calm down, Rabbi Jan. What are you shooting? Vanilius, give me an investigation check, and Ren, give me a. You're looking for traps? Give me a traps thing. Investigation check.
Venilius got a 6.
Vanilius has no idea. Ren, the doors look fine.
Oh god.
Can Brisk go ahead and go over and investigate the portraits as well?
Yeah, the pictures. Yeah, go ahead and give me a check, and then that's all you're going to be doing for a few minutes because this is think Indiana Jones when him and his dad are trying to decipher some sort of mystery. But the higher you roll, the faster it takes.
Is there another door in this room at all that leads out?
Or longer if you roll low. Silver got an 8. Ren got a 13 in his door check too. By the way, I didn't say it. No, there's no other door.
And then there weren't any other doors or hallways, like passages leading off of the hallway as we came through here, correct?
No. Real quick question, Fernelius. How are you making your way around this room to look at these?
I'm pretty focused on the portraits on the wall, so
Yeah. So which
fairly-
way are you making your way around the portraits?
I started out by going in the door and turning right, so I'll just continue right around the perimeter of the room unless it becomes clear that they're in a certain order.
Yeah, that was the first thing I said. They start kind of off to the left and move from the left to the middle to the upper left to the top middle to the top right. So they go clockwise.
As soon as Venilius figures that out, he's going to leave wherever he was and walk straight across the room to the first portrait on the left wall and start paying attention to him over there.
Go ahead and put your character where he would be. Okay, you guys all hold on for a sec. Rabbi Jan, what are you doing?
Rabbi Jean is going to ready a magic missile just because she's not feeling very comfy.
When you're staying out in the hallway.
Oh yeah, she's not going
Basha,
in
what are you
there
doing?
until she has to.
Basha's just gonna do the same thing that she's been doing, just stand out there and ready her weapon.
I think we have to turn these mirrors, and I think if we do, everybody should be in here before we do it, in case those doors do slam shut, and then we get cut off.
Well, the door seems fine, my friend. I just checked them.
Yeah, be that as it may, once whatever triggers, things get kind of wonky.
Oh,
Maybe
Rabbi
we
Jean's
should-
convinced. She's in the room now.
Maybe we could use something to block the door from closing. A boulder of some sort. I don't know.
A cough, Tim and Tom.
Yeah, we're not using the skeletons. That would be awkward. This is awkward in itself. Having, like, stop staring at me, Tim. Or maybe.
Are you
Tom, I
trying
don't
to
know.
squish Tim and Tom?
That's what
You
Roland
hear-
says, not me.
You hear Gry says.
No, not squish them. Just put them to work.
They work hard on a lot of things, and none of those things are doorstops, sir.
Have you tried using them as a doorstop?
Why, when we have so many good trees just inside the town that we can make doorstops out of naturally? And he pouts. This first thing is a picture of it's almost a giant in the top middle. It's a very brilliant ball of light that you first assume is a sun, but after further study is some sort of high power. And below to the both left and right of this is a platinum colored dragon that looks like a Chinese dragon. Then there is the other one is a 5-headed dragon, which looks like all of the chromatic dragons. And so after studying it for a while, you put together the myth of Bahamut and Tiamat. And this is
Oh,
possibly
shit.
their creation story. And that's this whole panel here. So you would then feel confident to move to the next panel if you would like.
I do.
Okay.
I just walk around the mirror. Now that I'm somewhat aware of what they are, I don't pay any attention to it. I just walk around it.
Oh, wait. Quick question.
Yes, quick answer. Real quick, Finnelis, go ahead and drop that next investigation.
Can I disarm the trap in the center of the room since I didn't do that?
You can certainly try.
Venilius rolled a 15.
Okay, let's see a roll while I talk to Finnelis about this next portion here. So now
Then
you're
roll the
studying the
24.
next one, right? So what you see is a very big, sturdy man, right? Like a bearded, kind of think, for sake of description, kind of think like Norse mythology, like this would be like an Odin type dude, big, burly, fur kind of armor. And you see him, and you see, think Greek mythology, kind of Gaia. So it would be like the depiction of a globe or an earth, but if the depiction at the center of that was a woman, right? And so much like the picture to your left, which showed the birth of the dragons, right, or the dragon deities. This from those two, almost like a family tree. So these pictures, when I say down and to the left, down to the right, it's like a family tree where you have a name and then you have the children's name listed below it, right? So this is a depiction of Anum, the Allfather, who and his wife Othea, and once you realize that this is the father of the various giants. So below them two are their children, Lenaxus, Musad, Nicias, Abadiah, Otter, Ruck, Vilmos, and the two-headed son Arno and Julian. And so it's a picture of those. While you know there are other giant sons out there, their lineage is a little more illegitimate. But to you, you believe this is a depiction of the creation of the original giants, leading to the races of giants. So to the left of you have the creation of the dragons. This one's a mythos of the creation of the giants. All right, and so that's what you think. You think you've got all you can from this one.
Okay. I move to the next one.
So you move forward and you start kind of messing around. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll while I talk to Bren, who got a total of 24. Too bad you didn't have advantage. 31. Jeez, rogues cheat. They get so high on their ability. So you start to kind of mess with the traps, and you kind of poke and you prod. And Fenelius, it's going to take a little bit longer. You don't quite know what you're looking at yet. You poke and you prod, and you're starting to mess around with the plates, and you see the mechanism. There's like a string mechanism that kind of goes back and forth between the plates. When the pressure pops down, the string's pulled and a thing happens somewhere else. So you see that mechanism and you feel you successfully can basically cut the wire and prevent whatever that trap is from going on.
All right. I turn around and I say, all right, guys, I MacGyver that thing and it's no longer operational.
So do you cut the wire?
I do cut the wire.
Yes, this is what I was waiting for. The door locks shut and dragons start pouring. I'm just kidding. No, you snap. Nothing happened.
Death by wire.
All right, I want to pause you two for a little bit because we've been doing nothing but you two for a second. Bresinger, what are you doing?
Briss is just getting increasingly upset by the portraits currently.
Basil, what are you doing?
I'll probably, if Briss is done with the portraits, I'll move to follow Finn instead.
Fenelius, if you'd like to go ahead and give me another investigation. You can have advantage since all these people are following you around and chatting with you about what you're studying instead of disadvantage. That's good that you had advantage. Holy cow.
Yeah, I got a 16 with advantage.
If you had not had advantage, you would have received a 5. 16's enough. This one looks to be both Tymet, who is the chromatic 5-headed dragon, and I can't remember which name, I'm sorry, and the fire giant son, both chatting with the same cloaked infernal person, right? It looks like it's got the classic, we're talking like mid Stone Age depiction, not the Stone Age. We're talking like 1300s European depiction of the devil, like hunched over, red horns, right? Tail that has a triangle point for some reason, because that's what that looks like for something. You see that guy, and he's got like a dark cloak, and he's got his little trident, and he's kind of, you can tell in both scenes, like it's just two scenes, the mural split in half. He's kind of like leaning in and whispering in the ear, or ears if you're a 5-headed dragon, of both of those individuals.
Okay.
And that's everything.
All right. Then I will move to the next one.
Okay. What else is everybody else doing?
Roland's just waiting for Finn to finish going over the murals.
Anybody do anything besides that?
I'm also using Druidcraft to just putz around and create like little viney like flowers or some shit.
Okay. Go ahead and give me next investigation with advantage.
I got a
All right.
24.
All right. This one is a giant mural that would look cool in like a tattoo shop. So at the very top, like back, you see what you recognize as Orcus, and Orcus has got his hands out to his right and his left, kind of like this, if you can see, palms facing down, fingers facing down, palms to his right and left, and from his fingers are strings, and those strings are attached both to Tiamat and the various giant children, right? And he's kind of got like a very evil and menacing look, and you see that classic devil figure sitting on his shoulder, right, kind of watching him do things. And at the bottom of it is just a giant war where you see different dragons coming towards from your left or from the west, and giants coming from the east or your right, and they're clashing in the middle, and in the middle is just like a giant fireball kind of in the background where they're meeting at. So this is a depiction of Orcus manipulating both the dragons and the giants to cause this giant war. And if you look, which because you rolled a natural 20, you can, all the way on the bottom of the mural, kind of in the almost like the fine print, you see coming from both sides, you see humans or various elves fighting both both ways. On the side of the dragons, it's more common to see halflings and elves, and on the side of the giants, it's more common to see dwarves and gnomes. And then all the other races are kind of split, except for Dragonborn are obviously on the side of the dragons as well because they have a really crappy history where they were enslaved by mean dragons for a while. It's a really beautiful mural that somebody could have fun making. What do you do now?
I move to the next one.
Show me.
Apparently behind that mirror.
Thank you for listening to Defenders of the Veil. You can follow the cast on Facebook at Defenders of the Veil or on Twitter at Defenders Veil. If you're a fan of the show, why not head over to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or your pod-catching app of choice to subscribe and leave us a rating and review. Be sure to tune in next week for more shenanigans from the Veil. Until then, Guildies, farewell.